She didn't steal my dreams in one dramatic moment. There was no thunder, no warning, no clear line between before and after. It happened quietly, piece by piece, the way termites eat, through a house while the walls still looked strong from the outside. At first, I didn't even realize something precious was being taken from me. I thought I was building a future. I thought I was in love. I thought sacrifice was proof of loyalty. By the time I understood the truth, my dreams were already living in her hands, and she was crushing them with a smile that everyone else called beautiful. I met her when my life was still full of plans. I had ambition then, the kind that keeps you awake at night, not from fear, but from excitement. I wanted to build something meaningful, something that would carry my name long after I was gone. I talked about ideas, late nights, risks, and failures like they were all part of a grand adventure. She listened closely, or at least I thought she did. Her eyes reflected admiration, or what I mistook for it. She told me she believed in me more than anyone ever had. I didn't know those words would become the first tools she used against me. At the beginning, she supported everything. When I stayed up working, she praised my dedication. When I spent money on learning or tools, she called it an investment. When I failed, she wrapped her arms around me and said failure was just a step closer to success. I trusted her because trust felt natural. Love made it easy. I shared my fears, my weaknesses, the doubts I never showed the world. I gave her the map to my soul and never imagined she would use it to burn the place down. Slowly, the encouragement changed its shape. It became advice. The advice became concern. The concern turned into doubt. She started questioning my choices, not directly, but softly, like she was protecting me from myself. She would say things like, "Are you sure this is realistic? Or maybe you're aiming too high and hurting yourself." I didn't hear control in her voice. I heard care. I adjusted my dreams to make her comfortable. I told myself compromise was love. Then came comparison. She would talk about people who chose safer paths, people who settled early, people who didn't struggle as much as I did. She made it sound like wisdom. She made it sound like maturity. Every time I defended my vision, she sighed as if I were a stubborn child. Eventually, I stopped defending it at all. I began shrinking my dreams so they would fit into her approval. Opportunities came and went. Some I rejected because she wasn't sure about them. Some I delayed because the timing wasn't right for her. Some I abandoned because they required sacrifices she didn't want to make. Each time she promised me something better would come. Each time I believed her. What I didn't see was that her life was improving while mine was standing still. She was gaining stability, connections, comfort. I was losing momentum, confidence, and time. The day I realized she had stolen my dreams wasn't dramatic either. It was quiet, almost embarrassing. I was sitting alone, staring at a version of my life I never wanted. I tried to remember the last time I felt excited about the future, and I couldn't. I tried to recall my old goals, and they felt distant, like someone else's memories. That's when it hit me. I hadn't failed. I had been redirected, slowly and deliberately, away from myself. When I confronted her, she didn't deny anything. That was the cruelest part. She simply said she did what was best for us. She said my dreams were unrealistic, selfish, and risky. She said I should be grateful she kept me grounded. In her mind, she hadn't stolen anything. She had rescued me. And in that moment, I saw her clearly for the first time, not as a partner, but as a thief who believed she deserved what she took. Walking away from her felt like stepping out of a burning house with nothing but the clothes on my back. She had become my routine, my comfort, my excuse. Leaving meant starting from zero, with less time, fewer resources, and scars I didn't know how to explain. People around me didn't understand. They saw her as supportive, loving, stable. They thought I was ungrateful, reckless, maybe even cruel. I let them think that. Explaining the truth felt pointless. Some battles are won in silence. Rebuilding my dreams was harder than losing them. Dreams once broken don't come back the same way. They return cautious, bruised, and suspicious. I had to relearn how to trust my instincts. I had to sit with the regret of wasted years without letting it poison me. There were nights I blamed myself more than I blamed her. I wondered how I let it happen, how I ignored the signs, how love made me blind. Forgiving myself was the first real victory. While I was rebuilding, she was unraveling, not immediately and not publicly. From the outside, her life still looked perfect. But I knew something she didn't realize yet. She had built her happiness on control, and control is fragile. Without my dreams to manage, without my ambition to shape, she felt empty. She tried to replace me with others, but none of them gave her the same sense of power. She missed being needed. She missed being the center of someone else's future. I didn't plan revenge. That's the truth most people won't believe. I didn't wake up one day and decide to take everything she loved. What happened was a consequence, not a strategy. As I reclaimed my dreams, I became everything she said I couldn't be. I took risks again. I failed again. I learned faster, worked harder, and trusted myself more deeply than ever before. Success followed, not because I chased it blindly, but because I finally stopped asking for permission to exist fully. People started noticing. The same people who once doubted me now praised my growth. Opportunities multiplied. My confidence returned, sharper and more grounded than before. And through it all, I stayed silent about her. I never spoke badly. I never exposed her. I let reality do the talking. That silence became my strength. What she loved most wasn't money or status or even love. It was image. It was being admired, envied, and validated. As my life rose, her image began to crack. People started asking questions. They noticed patterns. They remembered things she said, ways she behaved, moments they once dismissed. Without me there to absorb her doubts and frustrations, she turned them outward. And the world doesn't respond kindly to that. She watched from a distance as I built the life she once convinced me was impossible. She saw my name associated with things that mattered. She heard people speak about me with respect, and slowly, painfully, she understood. The dreams she stole were never the problem. They were the engine. Without them, she had nothing to control, nothing to shape, nothing to take credit for. By the time she tried to come back into my life, I was already gone in every way that mattered. She spoke about the past like it was a misunderstanding, like we were victims of timing. She hinted at regret without ever apologizing. She wanted access, not reconciliation. She wanted proximity to the life she once dismissed. I looked at her and felt nothing, no anger, no desire, no need to win. Indifference is a powerful thing. Taking everything she loved didn't require cruelty. It required growth. It required becoming so whole that her absence felt irrelevant. The admiration she once enjoyed shifted naturally toward the work I did, the values I lived by, the consistency I showed. Her influence faded because it was never real to begin with. It was borrowed, attached to me, feeding on my potential. Sometimes I think about the version of myself who trusted too easily, who confused love with sacrifice, who believed someone else had the right to edit his future. I don't hate that version. I respect him. He survived something that could have made him bitter or small. Instead, it made him precise. It taught him that dreams are not decorations to be rearranged by others. They are lifelines. She stole my dreams, yes, but she underestimated one thing. Dreams can be rebuilt, but character reveals itself under pressure. While she was busy controlling outcomes, I was learning resilience. While she focused on comfort, I learned discipline. And when the time came, I didn't have to take anything from her by force. I simply outgrew her world, and everything she loved lost its meaning without me inside it. That is the quiet truth people don't talk about. The strongest revenge isn't destruction, it's transformation. It's becoming undeniable. It's standing in the life you were told you couldn't have and realizing the thief never understood the value of what they stole.